Alrighty, so today we're going back to the basics. I am doing just a normal vegetable gyoza vegetable dumpling. It's going to be something that you can make a lot of, freeze ahead of time, and then make it whenever you actually want dumplings. I always end up making the dough by hand, so I thought that this time I would show you guys how to do it in a machine with a dough hook. So I have right around 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to be putting in a pinch of salt. And what we're doing today is a hot water dough. So I have some boiling water to the side. I'd say right around 6.5 to 7 tablespoons of boiling hot water is going to go into this. And the reason that we're using the boiling water dough is because you're able to roll it a lot thinner than if the water was just room temperature. So I'm just kind of getting that mixed around first because the water is, super hot. And after it gets to this flaky kind of stage, I kind of judge whether should I get a little bit more flour, should I add a little bit more water, and as you make dumplings, you will kind of get the feel of it. Basically, you do want a pretty firm dough, something that is not necessarily sticking to your hands, but also a little bit tacky at the same time. So I'm going to mix that around for about 4 to 5 minutes on medium speed just to work that dough up. And because it doesn't always kind of go into a ball shape, you want to knead it a couple of minutes, like 1 or 2 minutes on the bench until you get a smooth ball. So ignore those dumpling wrappers to the upper left side. You want to let the dough rest covered for right around 10 minutes. So we're just going to make the filling first. So I have a bunch of vegetables. I have 4 mushrooms, some carrots, some Chinese chives, some scallions. Recipe is all going to be down below. And then I'm mixing this with 3/4 of a cup of TVP, textured vegetable protein. Back to the basics, and what I did was I made a broth for them that also had, like the ginger and the garlic and the soy sauce and all of the marinades in it already. So everything I will be putting down below, and I just rehydrated the TVP for, like 10 minutes or so. And then I'm just mixing all of that in and adding a little bit of cornstarch just to make sure that the filling is not too wet. Those of you who are new to the channel, this is basically the donut method of rolling out a log of dough. Basically, you kind of just stick your thumb through it and you stretch out the dough, and that makes it a lot easier for you to form logs versus, turning it from one big blob of dough. So I'm just going to divide up the dough in half, and then each half I'm going to divide into 10 pieces. So there's going to be 20 pieces of dough. And if you guys can see, there was actually a lot of filling. So I'm making double the amount on this one, but I will adjust that in the recipe down below. And then afterwards, you want to generously dust it with some flour because it can kind of get sticky. So this is how you roll a dumpling wrapper. You start off by flattening it out into a disc first, and then focusing on kind of that outer inch, having the outer edges be slightly thinner than the center. And that serves multiple purposes of having the center be thicker. That's going to be the part that holds the filling better. And then obviously the thinner edges make it easier for us to do pleating, however intricate that you want. So, whatever you guys do, don't be like me and stack all that up together, because then the moisture kind of like binds up together and I got some really sticky pieces of wrapper. So just don't do that. So I'm gonna show you guys how I typically do the pleat. It's gonna be about a tablespoon of filling. Don't get too crazy first. And then you just wanna pinch it in the middle first. That's going to be your center point. And then kind of like a fan, you want to pleat like around 3 or 4 pleats from the center. So notice how one side works into the center, the other side works into the center, and then you can kind of shape it in the end to form that ingot, like gold Chinese shape. So this is the best time to freeze them. Just stick them on a sheet pan, make sure they're not sticking together, and then freeze them and put them into a bag. You can then just directly steam them straight out of the freezer, and they turn out actually super great. Now, if you are going to be cooking them fresh, I'm going to be pan frying them, but I'm going to steam them first just to make sure that, the filling gets warmed up and that wrapper gets cooked. So I'm gonna put it into the steamer for right around 12 to 15 minutes on medium-high heat. And I have this steamer nice and hot already. I don't think I need to tell you guys how to pan fry dumplings, so just not too much oil. I'd say like medium to medium high heat, and maybe like 2 to 3 minutes, because it gets from not being that brown to getting really brown really quickly. So I just always make sure to check it, and then once most of them seem to be done, then I just move them onto a plate. I tell ya, this end bit of the styling almost takes as much time as the whole recipe. So I have some sauce, some chili sauce to the side, but that's really just for you guys and for the picture. Usually I will do a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of soy sauce, and that is my favorite. But you can see how nice and crispy the wrappers are, and it just has like the little pieces of kind of like mincemeat and vegetable on the inside. So it's a wonderful accompaniment to really anything. And I've actually really liked putting my dumplings recently in just like a salad. So I'll just make a salad and then add like 3 or 4 dumplings. And it just makes it really hearty and really savory at the same time, as opposed to, just a salad. Anyways, I hope you all are having a lovely summer or winter. As usual, if you want to see more recipes like this, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all again real soon, okay? Bye!